Welcome to Key Tech. Please describe this channel if you are interested in today's video. Huawei's launch of its latest Kirin processor and the return of China's 5G mobile phones have attracted attention and heated discussions around the world. However, there is one person whose voice is very low. This person is Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, Limited. The US media said, China is not the one affected, TSMC is the real victim. After sparing no effort to assist the United States in cracking down on Huawei, not only did it fail to achieve any results, but TSMC suffered a huge loss. TSMC founder Morris Chang publicly stated at the meeting, "The United States is blocking China's chip industry." Morris Chang and Liu Deng moved their factories to the United States. Not only did TSMC's production expenses double, reaching $40 billion, but they also found it difficult to move forward in the face of Biden's chip plan. One way of saying it is that to marry an American is to be born an American and to be an American by birth. Considering the harsh conditions in the United States, coupled with the harsh production conditions in the United States, most people will feel that it is time for TSMC to withdraw. However, Liu Deng did not relax his vigilance because of this. Although he recently set up a new production base in Germany and expanded 28nm production in Nanjing, China, he did not give up the US production base. TSMC's semiconductor manufacturing base in the United States has released the first extreme ultraviolet lithography machine. Accelerate the expansion of production scale in the United States. In the chip competition between China and the United States, TSMC not only wants to jump in, but also sprinkles cumin and oil into it. This shows that as long as it is caught by Biden, TSMC will never be able to escape his grasp. Take control. TSMC fights against US chip sanctions. The United States has imposed comprehensive sanctions on China's semiconductor industry, which is devastating to them. Huawei, which once had the potential to become the world's #1 company, has suffered a setback due to US sanctions. Recently, domestic 5G mobile phones have finally been launched. Huawei, China's most powerful company in science and technology, has ended up like this. It has been sanctioned 3 times in 4 consecutive years. TSMC is definitely the first to take credit. TSMC is one of the world's top semiconductor manufacturers. With the help of TSMC, countries around the world have stopped researching the semiconductor industry and instead focused on the semiconductor field, just like China. Morris Chang also used controversial words to admonish China, let TSMC do chip production, and China can make chips with peace of mind. However, precisely because of this, when the US nuclear company imposed sanctions on China, China's chip industry had no ability to resist, but TSMC forced Huawei into a desperate situation. Recently, Huawei released a processor called Kirin 9000, which shocked the world and caused an uproar. Many people are speculating whether this mobile phone is produced by TSMC. In fact, the reason why Huawei has been so miserable in the past 3 years is because of their trust and reliance on TSMC. For 3 years, TSMC has maintained close ties with the United States and refused to provide chips to China's largest customer, Huawei. With strong support from the US government, TSMC finally decided to set up a factory in the United States to compete with Huawei and China's chip industry. TSMC is also trying its best to not only build 5-nanometer factories in the United States, but also prepare to build 3-nanometer factories to deal with China. During the period of chip shortage, TSMC devoted almost all of its production lines to the research and development of 7 nanometers and 5 nanometers to meet the requirements of the US market for 7 nanometers and 5 nanometers. Therefore, although TSMC has opened a factory in the United States, its dependence on the United States has far exceeded that of US semiconductor manufacturing company. It's not just the $10 billion funding plan proposed by Biden, but also the shortage of local technical personnel in the United States, the cumbersome and complicated approval procedures, the insubordination of American employees, and the fact that Intel has robbed their talents from the United States. None of this could stop TSMC from relying on the United States, and the first EUV lithography machine was quickly produced. As a result, Media's semiconductor factory project has entered the most important step: assembly. If this is the case, TSMC's production speed in North America will be greatly accelerated, and TSMC will no longer be able to do without the United States. Can TSMC return to China? TSMC has spent a huge amount of money of up to $40 billion in building factories in the United States. Seeing that the United States has become a bloodletting tank for TSMC, Liu Deng thought of the blood replenishment package in mainland China. Following the news of the EUV lithography machine released by the United States, TSMC returned to China to expand the production scale of the 28 nanometers process. TSMC currently only has one factory in Nanjing. After expanding its production scale, its monthly output has increased from the original 40,000 to 10. TSMC's main force is advanced chips. However, SMIC is stepping up the development of its own chip production. The mainland that could have allowed TSMC to turn defeat into victory was missed by Morris Chang and Andy Lau. Based in mainland China, SMIC has built a new 12-inch chip factory in Beijing, one in Shenzhen, one in Tianjin, and one in Shanghai, with a total production capacity of 340,000 units. Now, Huawei's technological breakthrough will also drive SMIC to expand production capacity globally. Even TSMC cannot expand 28 nanometers production capacity to the maximum in a short period of time, and China's semiconductor technology cannot be solved in just half a day. TSMC has been boycotting China's semiconductor industry, not only being restrained by Huawei, but also SMIC being sued in court by Morris Chang. However, it is not a gentleman not to retaliate against someone. TSMC, which has followed the footsteps of the United States, has missed the most urgently needed growth stage for China's chip industry and has been unable to save the Chinese market.